Hey everybody, it's Hayley Hobson. Welcome. I want to talk to you tonight about one of my favorite topics, which is clean eating. And this is because I've been pretty much a clean eating advocate for my entire life. I grew up with some really pretty serious digestive issues, and ever since I was a child, ever since I can actually remember when I was a toddler, I was having problems with stomach aches, with bloating, with gas, with diarrhea, with constipation, more than you probably want to hear right now. And so I had to figure out pretty quickly how to eat right to actually satisfy my gut. And as I got a little bit older, I was taught that there were certain things I should stay away from. And back then it was everything. It was corn and beans and rice and dairy and meat and anything fried and all sugars and caffeine. And back then, I think, we're talking, over 20 years ago, I think people were not as knowledgeable as they are right now, and that they just wanted to eliminate anything that was an allergy, potential allergy, or anything that could irritate the digestive tract. And as I got older, I became more educated. I actually became a holistic health coach myself, an educator, a speaker on some of these topics. I went through Pilates and yoga extensive training, and I actually got very knowledgeable in essential oils as well. And I found out that I could actually go back to some of those foods that I believed were okay, like corn and beans and rice and nuts and seeds. But I had to actually focus on bringing more of the good into my body, and I had to learn how to satisfy sort of some of the other needs that our body is craving, such as sleep and relaxation and balance and fun and energy and that kind of thing. So it really all is a component of how well our digestive tract is working, like everything, meaning our moods, everything is a component of how that's going to operate. And a lot of people these days are struggling with things like digestive issues or weight loss even, and they're trying these fads, these diets, etc., sugar-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, fat-free foods, and they go on these binge diets or don't eat anything or juice for a week, and then they always gain the weight back. And so what I want to talk to you tonight about is really how extensive the problem with obesity or overweightness is, and how many people, even when they're not overweight, want to lose weight, and a much more natural way that we can feel good in our body, happy with our weight, and also feel boundless energy. So I don't know if you guys know this, but there are literally billions of dollars spent on weight loss annually. We spend a lot of money on diets, etc. And like I said before, most of them are fads, and they're very hard to keep up with, and they don't provide lasting results. In fact, some of the diets, you'll actually lose a ton of weight, and when you rebound afterwards, say you went from 150 pounds to 115 pounds, then you end up going back to 160. So you actually end up weighing more after you gain the weight back. And they say a statistic these days is that 108 million Americans are on diets, and it's something crazy with women that like 4 out of 5 women think that they actually have at least 5 pounds to lose. But whether the weight that you want to lose is because you actually want to run faster, or you want to sleep better, or you want to be in a better mood, or you want to have less digestive issues, or whether it's that you want to fit into a dress for your sister's wedding, it doesn't matter. I mean, we all want to lose weight for different reasons, but the bottom line is that we have a rise of illness in our culture these days, specifically. It's not only in the US, but in the US specifically, we have a huge rise of many illnesses and diseases that actually stem from inflammation and too much weight on the body. And so, we struggle with things like weight loss and irritable bowel syndrome and cancers and diabetes and heart diseases and a hormonal imbalance. And I'm not here today to give you any cures for any diseases at all. That's not my job. But I want to talk to you today specifically about how to eat better, how to maintain your weight better, possibly lose weight, and also what the cause of your weight might be, and you may actually be surprised. So inflammation in our body is prevalent, and it can either be acute or it can be chronic. And inflammation, what it really means is to ignite, like I am setting a light. And we can have acute inflammation, which is something like you trip over a high-heeled shoe when you're walking, or in your high-heeled shoe, or you run and twist your ankle running, and you have some inflammation that happens in your ankle. And that is acute inflammation. You see immediately some swelling and some pain. And it actually happens like that to protect yourself. And hopefully, with some good treatment, some good holistic treatment specifically, you can get that swelling to go down pretty quickly. But we also have what's called chronic inflammation, which lives in our bodies these days because of a lot of the stress, believe it or not, that's going on in our environment. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I live with stress in my life on a daily basis. I mean, even when I have a time in my life where I feel like I'm at peace, like I went away on a vacation last week. I was gone for 2 weeks to Costa Rica. And one of the days that we were there, my daughter slammed her finger in a playground and had an accident. We had to rush her to the urgent care in another country. I mean, that was stressful, right? And there's so many other types of stresses. You guys know, I mean, you can have stress at work. You can have stress about losing your job. You can have stress about your new 16-year-old getting their driver's license. You can have stress with your marital issues. You can have stress with your kid graduating from high school and then maybe having to go to college. You can have stress over paying the college tuition. You could have stress simply because you pull out of your neighborhood and you realize that you're 5 minutes late for an important meeting, and you're not paying attention. The person in front of you slams on their car brakes and you're like, oh my gosh, even though you pound your brakes on and avoid an accident, that's stressful. So your body doesn't really distinguish what like stress is when you're running a marathon versus stress is because your body has been in an accident or recovering from a major illness, or stress because of life. It doesn't distinguish between it. Stress is stress in your body. And when you have stress, it creates inflammation. So I want you to just ask yourself, just for fun, are you walking around simmering? Because I feel like in today's days and age, a lot of us are walking around simmering. A lot of us are walking around managing our stress, but we are walking around with a lot of stress in our body. We aren't even aware of that inflammation. And your inflammation can actually prevent you from being or at your ideal weight or maintaining your ideal weight. And it can definitely prevent you from feeling your best, for sure. So, not only is inflammation a problem itself in your body, but there are other reasons why we want to battle to lose weight and keep it off, right? We don't want to be restricting our calories. We don't want to be starving ourselves. We don't want to be on diet foods or low-fat foods, because these types of things are, like I said before, are unsustainable. And when we're restricting our calories or when we're not eating, I mean, we go through peaks and valleys, right? Highs and lows. And we're going to be great for 3 days. And then we're going to binge on all the chocolate cake, even if it's vegan and dairy-free and gluten-free and all of that we can eat. And it's not going to be good for your body. Because what we do know is when we eat like that, we have these big, huge blood sugar spikes. And what that does is then it again increases this inflammatory response in our body, which is stress. And then eventually our toxicity levels, which are one of the most significant ways that we actually are prone to illness or disease. So we want to make sure that our blood sugar is not going up and down. We want to make sure that our hormones are communicating in a way that is balanced. And we want to make sure that our moods are balanced and that we're making really good food choices. And we also want to make sure that we're eating enough, right? If you don't eat enough, you can't sustain yourself. You can't sustain your activities. You can't participate in high energy activities. You're not going to sleep well, and you're probably going to be moody or crabby, have headaches and all that kind of stuff. We also want to make sure that we're aware that when we are trying to eat clean, that our bodies are not really supposed to eat foods that are going to be really sensitive to us, right? Like there are certain foods, in my opinion, like high sugar, high caffeine, high soy diets that are just not great for you. And I believe that we should all maintain a high alkaline plant-based diet. That doesn't mean that you have to completely remove meat or chicken or fish from your diet, but it means that the majority of your diet should be plant-based. And I always personally feel my best when I'm eating an all plant-based diet, and actually even an all raw diet, which is hard to maintain, but it's easier in the spring and the summer months, or if you're living in a very warm climate. So we know that we want to stay away from foods that we're sensitive to. We know that we want to be on a high alkaline plant-based diet, and we know that we want to get rid of stress in our life. Easier said than done, right? We also want to make sure that we're staying away from junk food. And junk food can be like healthy junk food these days. So you actually have to read what's in your bottles and what's in your bags, and not be fooled by the false advertisement that's on the shelves. The other thing that creates toxicity, inflammation, etc. in our body is when we are not taking care of ourselves because we're using literally toxic products on our body. So I want you guys to be very aware that there are toxins that we put on our skin, that we clean our house with, that we may even be medicating ourselves or our loved ones with, personal care products that have toxic ingredients in them. So make sure that you're reading your labels, that you're doing your research, that you're asking somebody who knows, so that you are not creating more toxicity in your life. Because toxicity leads to inflammation and therefore a hard time losing weight or maintaining an ideal weight. I know it sounds like, oh my gosh, that's so silly. Like, I love the shampoo. Like, that's not going to prevent me from losing weight, but it can if you're going overboard with too much of the toxicity, or if you've been for years using products that have an overload now of toxicity in your body. So for real, you can hinder your ability to maintain your ideal weight or lose weight by increasing the toxicity levels in your body. So I want to give you guys some solutions to fighting this weight loss battle, and talk about how we can change this and how we can start. Okay, so we want to have somewhat of a diet change, right? I believe that a lot of people are probably eating some foods that they should eliminate from their diets. And you probably know what they are. I don't have to be the food police here right now. Like, we want to try to stay away from things that are in a box, or things that aren't real food, things that are high in sugar, things that have ingredients that we don't recognize on the labels, right? We also want to make sure we're supplementing in our diet. And by this, I mean like literally taking supplements that are going to increase the vitamins, the minerals, the antioxidants in our body, because we do not, as much as you would love to believe, we do not have enough of what we need in our diets today. And it's because we don't live in an agricultural nation anymore, right? We live in this industrialized, very sophisticated, technology-based environment, and our food is just not coming from the sources that it used to come for when we lived this hunt and fish and gather life years and years and years ago. And because we have to have our food travel, and because we're using certain types of, or we have soil that's not in its ideal situations, we are just not getting the phytonutrients that we need in our diets today. I believe that even if you're on 100% raw vegan diet, you simply cannot eat enough food to maintain your optimal levels of health in your body. So if you need to know more about supplements, I do know a lot about this. I'm happy to share my level of expertise with you. You can reach out to me after the webinar. Go on my site, HayleyHobson.com, send me an email. I'll definitely talk to you. But I want to emphasize how supplements are a huge part of my lifestyle. And I never wake up, or I never go to sleep at night without taking supplements. And I take supplements because they get rid of the inflammatory response in my body, right? They are helping reduce the inflammatory response in my body. They're helping me maintain optimal levels of health, energy. They even help me maintain a better night's sleep, or promote a better night's sleep. Okay, so there's a lot that supplementation can do. Enhance your energy levels, but at a bare minimum, they can be keeping you alive with the phytonutrients that are in them, okay? So the next thing that we want to do, obviously, is exercise. I try to exercise every single day, and I am pretty good at it unless I'm traveling, which I do have a heavy travel schedule, but I even try sometimes to travel while I'm away if the circumstances allow. So I always get out there and do something to move my body. And as I was telling a friend last night, I actually got into exercise in my teenage years. Well, actually, that's not true. I grew up as a swimmer from the age of 5, but when I was like 16, 17, I think I got burned out. And when I was diagnosed with all of my digestive issues in my early 20s, my doctor actually told me to start exercising. He told me that if I practiced yoga, if I started running or doing some type of cardiovascular activity, my bowel would actually be more regulated. And it actually worked, just FYI. So I have sort of been addicted to exercise since, and I've gone in and out of like my serious addiction where I was like a competitive athlete and training every day, sometimes twice a day, to now more of a recreational athlete. But I definitely feel better when I exercise. So I encourage you guys to not sit on the couch all day long and get out there, and especially when the weather is warmer in the summer, spring months, so try to get out there and do as much as you can outside and enjoy it, or take up some sports that actually have to be done outside in the winter too. And then the last thing that we want to do is obviously reduce our stress loads. And by eating clean and taking supplements and exercising and sleeping better, these are great ways to reduce our stress. But other things that we can do are actually designate certain times of our day or certain activities as stress reducing activities. Like, for instance, when I went on the hike this morning outside my house in the mountains, that was an activity that was both exercise, but it was also stress reducing. Breathing in the air, being in the mountains, being outside, being with nature. When I fly out next week to do my yoga retreat, participate as an actual student in a yoga retreat, not a teacher, that is going to be a way to reduce my stress levels. In fact, that'll probably take care of me for a good month. It's so awesome. So whatever it is, if it's 5 minutes of sitting in your chair, closing your eyes, meditating, reading a good book, going out on a run, walking with your dog, whatever it is, try to figure out how to do something every single day to reduce your stress levels. Because stress and the toxins that are in our environment, in our food, in our cleaning solutions, and our personal care products, those toxins and that stress are really the silent killers in our country right now, specifically in the United States, but really all over the world. And they affect every area of our health and of our life. So let's talk about a couple of the different areas that I consider really important in our life. And the first is your whole food and lifestyle. So if you look at this screen here, you'll see the bottom icon on the left is an icon that I developed on my site. And I'm going to go through each icon with you and tell you the 4 little sections that I consider important that I want to focus myself on, and hope you do too. So this is what I call the whole you approach to how food, lifestyle, etc. can all start to work together. So the first one is your whole food and lifestyle. You want to make sure, like I said before, that you're actually eating whole foods. And if you can, try to incorporate some vegan and some raw foods into your diet, and definitely try to eliminate your sugars and your processed food. For your lifestyle part of this whole food and lifestyle, try to make sure that you're actually getting some more movement, like we talked about, exercise. And bonus, you guys are gonna love this, especially you women, get out there and treat yourself to more self-care, right? My yoga retreat next week is gonna be self-care. Me going on vacation to Costa Rica is self-care. Me going out to get a manicure last week was self-care. Me treating myself to a hair appointment is self-care. Me watching The Bachelorette last night is self-care, right? You've got to be doing things for yourself, even if they're stupid and you don't wanna tell anybody, and you're like a closet Bachelorette junkie. You want to be giving yourself self-care. So for the whole food and lifestyle, make sure you're adding veggies and fruits, that you're adding whole foods, that you're adding more fresh food to your diet. Frozen vegetables are okay because they come out really fresh and they're frozen the whole time. So by the time they get to where you are, they're still maintaining all of their nutrients. You want to make sure that you're drinking enough water, right? I find that I personally probably don't drink enough from where I live, where it's so dry in Colorado, but I do drink a lot of fluids all day long. Make sure that you're drinking several glasses of water a day, that you're eating your nuts, your seeds, and that for sure you're trying your best to make sure that everything is organic that you're eating. There's no pesticides in your food. You also want to make sure that you're reducing your processed foods, that you're getting rid of those diet foods in your closets and in your refrigerator. You don't need them. Just eat real foods. Fake foods are not food. You want to try to also get rid of, like I spoke about before, sugar and excess salt. Sea salt's great. And also make sure, once again, that you're ridding your house, your refrigerator, your closet, your medicine cabinet, everything, your bathroom, of preservatives and chemicals. So some of my food recommendations, like I said before, are a plant-based, high alkaline diet. I also want to encourage you guys to eat very low glycemic, meaning foods that are not going to elevate your blood sugar and take it out of the roof. And then I believe that more gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, sugar-free, caffeine-free foods are better. You want to eat foods that are very hydrating. It was really great this morning as a snack. It was so hot out up here, and we had grapes and watermelon and cucumbers. And it was just the perfect snack where everything had so much water in it. And that you're drinking a lot of water. When you travel, when you're going to high altitude, when you're going to warm climates, when you're going to very humid climates and you're going to be losing water, and when you're stressed and exercising, hydrate yourself. Make sure that you're eating often, that you're not starving yourself half the day because you're too busy. And you want to eat your rainbow of colors of vegetables and fruits and produce. Okay, so next category is what I call the whole health and wellness. And you really want to clean up your medicine cabinet. You want to seek more natural solutions. Like when I look at the cabinet here on this slide, I think to myself, there's not one way that I would put one of those items in my body. Not one of them. Not one of those items would be in my body. I seek natural solutions in my life. I think about treating my wellness rather than my sickness or my symptoms. So I am constantly boosting my immune system with things like essential oils, or supporting my system with natural products like essential oils, because I want my body to be well all the time and not just have to treat it when something goes wrong. I also am a real huge advocate of doing seasonal detoxes for my digestive system, for my gut, for my liver. We do need to sort of get rid of the old and bring in the new every season. And we do need to flush our gut as well. I'm also a big advocate of cross-training, doing lots of different exercise. If you're not specifically training for one sport, try to get out there and do lots of things. I love to go biking, and now this summer I've been doing a lot more hiking than I do during the rest of the year. And you know, some of you like to run out there or do walks or go to a dance class or spin class or cardio sculpt class or whatever it is that you like to do. Try something new. Also, get out there and get some sun, right? We know now these days that we need the vitamin D that you can only get through the sun. And it's not bad to be out there getting some sun, as long as you don't have super fair skin and you're gonna burn. Make sure that you're using some type of natural sun protector or sunburn protector, but get out there and enjoy it, especially in the summer. And then I encourage everybody to do some thorough blood work every once in a while and consider integrative medicine. So now moving on to the third category is what I call whole home and living. And I want to make sure that you guys really once again understand that we absolutely need to switch to natural cleaners. We use in our house cleaners that have essential oils in them that actually help not only boost our immune system as they're cleaning, but that also act as natural disinfectants or cleansers. And we also use things like just water spritzer sprays that have essential oils in them to just spritz and clean the house and create a purifying, clean environment that helps support the way that we want to promote our awesome health. And because nobody wants to be living in a germ-free environment, right? So I encourage you to look for cleaners. And again, if you're not sure of where to go, you can contact me after the webinar if you want. I can give you a whole selection of ones that you can pre-buy, brands that you can pre-buy, or your own natural cleaners that you can make yourself. Did you know that a few drops of lemon, or actually more than a few, we use about 35 drops of lemon oil or melaleuca, which is a tea tree oil, can be an awesome cleaner mixed in a glass bottle with water, and you can spray it around your kitchen, and you can clean your refrigerator and clean your stove and clean your countertops and clean your toilets. So those are great things to start thinking about switching over to. You also want to make sure that you're detoxing not only the chemicals in your life, but you're detoxing yourself from clutter. Like, what does it feel like to you guys when you have a clutter-free environment? It's awesome. It's very peaceful to the mind. It promotes and stimulates a better work environment, peacefulness, and it creates a space so that you can de-stress, which is super important too. And then the last category that I like to talk about is the whole balance. We want to make sure that we're living a work-life balance, that we're living a work-life balance, and we're actually having fun with that too. You want to schedule some downtime. You want to definitely work hard, because working hard pays off, but maybe play harder. And then, like we talked about before, scheduling some meditation, a date night with your loved ones, some fun time with your kids. Do what you love to do, you guys. I really encourage you. And you know from all the other webinars that you've heard me on, and all the other programs that I talk about and coach on, that I think you need to do what you love for a living. And I can't imagine a better life than I have right now, where I don't know if it's Wednesday or whether it's Sunday, because every day feels like fun to me. I definitely work hard at different points of the day or week or month, but I also have a really, really fun life. So if you do not have that, schedule a call with me or reach out to another coach, or think about how you can create a life that you want to live, an abundant life that you want to live. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit for a second about what essential oils are, because they have been a super important part of my life and how I have helped my body be more toxin-free, support my immune system. And as we talked about before in the very beginning of the webinar, which is actually the topic of tonight, how to support your inflammatory response and help you therefore maintain a healthy weight. So essential oils are extracts from plants. They're 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs, and they support your immune system because they are the natural immune system of plants themselves. So how can it even get better than that? And I believe that there are different steps or stages to our healthcare, life care pyramid here. And we definitely want to eat right and exercise and rest and manage stress and reduce our toxic load, like I talked about. But some of the ways that we can do that are if we are informed about our self-care options, and if we're taking proactive medical care. So just to summarize what we've talked about before, we want to eat often, eat high alkaline diets, eliminate our food sensitivities, increase our anti-inflammatory supplements, get more exercise and sun, reduce our stress levels and our toxins, and add more personal cleaning, non-toxic products, and better health care into our life, right? Our problem, as we know, is things like time, and we don't have the knowledge, and maybe it's not convenient, or we're not as organized as we'd like to be. It's not as easy to integrate these types of steps into our lifestyle, and we don't want to have boring meals, but we can find the time, and we can get educated, and we can make it more convenient, and we can do a better job with our schedule. And it actually is easy to integrate to our lifestyle, and we don't have to have our meals be boring. We can spice them up even with essential oils. And I am a person who has had to do all this. I had to do it as a teenager, and if I can do it at an age like that, I know you guys can too. And I know that your health is important, and I know that the health of your families, your children are important. So I encourage you to get educated and start making the time so it can be more convenient for you. Now, my solution to our problem with too much inflammation, trying to get rid of excess weight, is that I have created for you a easy to implement, very powerful, very convenient program that will give you the lifestyle changes that you want, and that means real results. And I realize that you're not alone, and it is hard to sometimes start this and change, and you need to rely on expert guidance, and you want more spiced up recipes. So let's take a look at what I call my 30-day Flab to Fab program, because it is a program that if you can stick to for 30 days, which is going to include you supplementing in your diet, incorporating essential oils and their immune boosting properties into your diets, eating more real food. And I'm going to give you pages and pages and pages of recipes that are easy, that are more plant-based, and that you're actually switching over your personal care and cleaning products. Then your daily protocol will change over that 30 days. And by the end of the 30 days, you'll have a chance to have gotten organized, and it will now become convenient. And I just want to talk to you a little bit about what my daily protocol is like. Like, I wake up every single morning and I take my supplements because I want to feel good. And I wash my face with products that are natural, that actually have essential oils in them and cleaning properties that are great for my skin. And the same with my hair. And I come downstairs and I make myself a smoothie every single morning with all of the phytonutrients that I need and extra protein and all of that yummy stuff. And then during the course of the day, after I've gotten my exercise, I make myself whole plant-based meals, and I'm able to do them very quickly with easy recipes. And I'm supporting myself all day long with different types of oils that are great for my immune system, that are great for my respiratory system, that are great for my lung function, that are great for my moods, that help me with my memory and help me stay focused, that help me stay grounded, that help me stay balanced, and then eventually bring me into a restful place so that I can have a supported night's sleep. So I want to invite you to try a program with me, my 30-day. It's like a detox, but we're not asking you to eliminate anything from your diet. We're just asking you to add more good stuff. It's really a 30-day nutrition school. And it's going to start with a 5-day sort of intense reboot or cleanse, where we're really bringing in a lot of juicings and smoothies. And then I'm going to help you for the rest of the 30 days with recipes and essential oils that will help you clean out your digestive tract and help support your inflammatory response and help support your liver so that you can feel better and you can work on maintaining an ideal weight. And most people actually lose weight on this program if they have any weight to lose. You're going to get tons of training videos from me. You're going to get shopping lists. You're going to get recipes. You're going to get food charts. You're going to get other resources. It's a really great program. I've actually been working on this program over and over again for 3 years, and I feel like it's finally at its best, and it's got so much material, and you guys are going to have fun doing it. So if you want to get started with it, you can visit my website, HayleyHobson.com, and it's the link free-30-days-fab-2-fab, okay? Free 30 days flab to fab. And yes, believe it or not, it is free. But here's the catch, you guys. You're going to have to actually be strict on the program and buy the foods that I'm recommending. And you're also going to have to incorporate what I call the essential nutrients and supplements and essential oils that are going to help you get rid of those blood sugar spikes, balance your hormonal level and your blood sugar level, and help maintain a better inflammatory response in your body. So I'm going to give you my program for free, but you've got to check in with me first and make sure that you have all of the, let's say, products or ingredients that you need for the program. Okay, so complete this form and I'll get you started with a series of autoresponders, and you'll be hearing from me a lot over the next 30 days if you want to do it, and we'll be going through it together and you'll have a lot of communication. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this webinar. I love giving this information out. I think it's really crucial to our health and our moods, and therefore our relationships even. If you want to hear more from me, please visit my Facebook page, Hayley Hobson Health Coach. I've been really doing a lot of work these days on my Pinterest page, so that's Hayley Hobson 69, and my Instagram, which is just Hayley Hobson, and of course on my website, HayleyHobson.com. So have a fantastic evening, everyone, and I'll see you online.